Oh, the riot's back for more Worst of the Riot 2020.
So these are some of our moments we decided to share with you now from this past year. Or from this year, since, we're still in it. A couple more days.
Here we go. This is like full-on quarantine times. We're talking about chalk and brick painting.
Yes, yeah.
That was a big thing for a while back when we still had hope.
Mm-hmm.
What? Is that too real?
Nothing.
We talk about canned chicken fingers. Now they're shrinking.
Yes, that did happen. Maybe they're back a little plumper, but they're still not what they used to be, for sure.
We talk about how video games did during quarantine.
Yeah.
Nikki developed stress hiccups.
Oh, I did, don't I?
Yeah.
Aww.
Obadiah buys VR again. This is the April purchase, not the October purchase.
You shouldn't point out these parts of our lives.
A sorry I called the cops on you cake.
Aw.
How's piracy doing during quarantine? Nintendo Switch. A French author admits something big. Social distancing birthday parades.
Oh, and man, those were...
I went on one. I did one.
And I know that they're nice for the person, but man, we had a lot in our neighborhood, and they got to be to a point where I wish everybody knew the rules, because, say the birthday party was on the other side of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
They would just still honk like they were in front of the birthday person's house.
Yeah, you're supposed to just honk at the house.
Not what my neighborhood did, because they would honk the whole route. And it was we would sometimes have a couple a day, and it was just too much because it's a big neighborhood.
So we talk about what happened to Skyrim Grandma.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then, here it is again. Nikki and Eric and sound systems and tone.
Yeah. It's a big thing in our lives. He's building his speakers now.
I do know that. I saw on Facebook where he's gluing together parts.
He's building them.
I think it's awesome.
It is, but it's a lot. It's a long process. So he's hoping to, he's got 2 subwoofers to build. And then he's got his other speakers to build. And last night I was honest. I was like, how long is this going to take to build these things? But it's a passion project. So we're not going to rush it.
Hey, Nikki, Eric is paving the way for all of us.
He loves doing this stuff, and that's fine. We had bought speakers, he had bought a whole set of them. But then I think 30 days after, they still hadn't shipped because they were selling items they didn't have. This company was.
Wow, who does that?
I know. And he canceled those and decided to go back to building his. So that's why it's taken so long.
Well, I think it's great. One of my favorite things about Eric is probably one of Nikki's most frustrating things about Eric, and that is his willingness to do and try just about anything.
And wait it out until it's then. And when are we finishing this up? But it'll be interesting to hear it then.
All right. Well, you guys enjoy the podcast. We've got our last Worst of the Riot 2020 tomorrow. If you listen to RadioU over the air, this Friday, January 1st, you'll get an opportunity to hear the 50 Most Wanted of 2020.
Hudson's going to be hosting that, so take some time if you're done with the podcast and you want a little bit more of us, or just you want to learn more about RadioU, where we're the morning show for. Go to RadioU.com or download our free RadioU app or our free RadioU Roku channel.
All right, enjoy the podcast, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
The Riot isn't all bad, but this is the Worst of the Riot, RadioU.
Okay, you guys looking for something to do today? Now, not everybody is. Some of us are essential. You're just working like it's every day, right? Other people, though, maybe. So do you live in a brick house or brick apartment?
Mm-hmm.
I got a family of 4 here who they went out, including with a ladder, and they colored every single brick on their brick. I don't know if they have a brick house or a brick townhouse.
You got to say it like the Brick House song.
She's a brick house.
No, it's really cute. I saw the pictures of it. A lot of people have been doing sidewalk chalk art.
Yes, that's a big thing.
And we're talking all ages are going out to doing these amazing masterpieces on their driveways.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, as I go drive back from the show every day, I see a lot of people with some really fantastic art that is out there.
I don't know what they were using, but someone in my neighborhood was using paintbrushes. So they didn't have the chalk.
Yeah, you can get a chalk paint.
Yes, that must have been it. But they were really into it. So it was great.
Well, again, it comes down to some people are really using this time to be creative.
Yeah.
Then others of us are like, just going to work.
Well, I think it's nice to be creative, but I think it's also because it just gets you outside.
Yeah.
So you can do it then.
Hey, listen, I'm not making fun. I think it's a great idea. Not whether you're, just coloring in the bricks or if you're out there with a creative, I think it's awesome. I mean, because, okay, I know this is hard for some people to believe, but like, I don't care about my yard. Like, how you see guys out there and they're like, yeah, it's been Saturday in the yard, making it nice.
You don't care about your driveway?
I don't freaking care. Like, get the mulch out there, feed the grass.
Well, this is the time to do that, and it makes everything look pretty.
I don't even care.
So you can do that to your houses, too, if you have brick. They were just saying you just color each brick in.
Yeah. The other thing you can do is not that.
Well, okay, so that's an option.
Yeah. I've been writing poetry, so...
I don't think you have been.
You don't know.
Oh, well, yeah, no one's going to question you on it.
You don't know. Like, you can't come. Like, first off, if I'm writing poetry, I'm obviously very sensitive. So
don't bring it up.
Don't make fun of them. Mm-hmm. And no, I'm not going to share it with you because just like that one lady, I'm going to have books of poetry. And then when I die, we're going to publish them. And whoever's alive after me gets tons of money from it.
Again, they're like, we had no idea he was such a sensitive soul.
Yeah.
But he never wanted to color on his driveway.
Never. He thought, in fact, there are whole poems here about not coloring on the driveway.
I thought it might be fun. I was going to look on Amazon to see the paintbrush one, instead of the little chalk things. But
all right, let's see. Chalk, paint. So you probably just get your own paintbrushes and Montana chalk spray paint. The only thing I'm going to say is we better make sure.
This isn't the indoor paint that's chalk, like makes it into a chalkboard. This is, I thought it'd be like a liquid chalk thing.
Okay, because be careful because there apparently is chalk paint that just gives something a chalky appearance. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about actual
We need the real stuff. And then everybody has maybe seen the Reddit with the young gentleman spray painting his home. The kid that was on.
I didn't
see
that.
it?
No,
He's spray painting his driveway because he sees like everybody else in the neighborhood doing the chalk thing.
Shut up.
But he found spray paint and he was spray painting the garage, all that stuff. And the neighbor's like, what's this guy doing?
Yeah.
We don't know.
When you say he was young, like how young was he?
I think like 8.
Okay, yeah.
Like he's old enough to be outside on his driveway, but young enough to not know that spray paint is the real stuff.
Yeah. Someone have some splaining to do.
Well, you got to ask for forgiveness afterwards.
Don't paint over it. It's a one-time work of art.
No, what he was writing, you're going to need to paint over it. So I think you're going to need to have some bigger brushes and going to get rid of all that.
Love it.
What's worse than the worst of the riot? The worst of the riot podcast. Yeah. You did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. Radio U.
Nikki, Friday night, living my wild lifestyle that I do. After a hike on my way home, I decided, hey, I exercised just a little. I deserve a ton of food. And so I stopped at Cane's.
Yeah.
And I bought some chicken fingers.
Did you now?
And what I really bought was some chicken nubbins.
Are they? I told you.
I'm telling you, it's real.
I feel like I'm a whistleblower. Like one of those things.
The corporate's going to visit you, Nikki.
I know. I don't want to keep bringing it up, but I think they made their chicken fingers smaller.
It's real. It is absolutely real. Those chicken fingers.
It's changed.
They are not what they used to be. They are maybe, I'm going to go with 65% of the previous chicken finger length.
And when I first started noticing this, it was before the coronavirus drive-through only thing.
It's not a corona thing.
I don't feel like it's a reflection of just having pickup orders or drive-through. This was before then.
Yeah. What the thing that I noticed is it's just like the top half of the chicken finger's gone.
Yeah, the fun part with all the little crispy little weird things around it. It's all gone.
Now it's just like a straight shot.
Yep. It's a corporate chicken.
It's something.
It is. I feel like it's when Chipotle started like really measuring out things.
Yep. Come on.
For their bowls and stuff and for their burritos. And when you started seeing the workers take things out because they put too much on.
Yep.
And I felt like, wow, that was a memo.
There was a time when you could go to Chipotle and they'd be like, oh, look at me, I've overstuffed here.
Let's see if we can fold it.
Let's just wrap another tortilla around it. This is fun.
Not anymore, though. Now they're like, well, we've overweighed it. Let's take the stuff off. Dude,
what is it, Hot Burrito? They're like a Chipotle ripoff chain. Are they the ones that do actually weigh it?
Well, I think even Chipotle does now. I think most places do now.
You know what? I am almost glad they weigh it because I feel like there for a while the workers were so afraid. They're like, no, that's too much. I'm trying to make my boss yell at me when this is over. Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm glad you noticed that too on Friday.
And now it's happening again, Nikki. They're cutting back. And you know the thing is, none of us are getting any thinner.
Well, because we're still eating other stuff.
The portions are getting smaller. Everybody's getting bigger. I don't know what's going on.
Remember, though, this is still under the stress eating time. So
I think so.
I think we're all able to cut each other some slack. You get what you get, and just eat it. I should say this. You get what you want to get, all right? Just do what you want, and we're going to deal with all this later when health clubs open back up and we can work some of this off.
I really need to work out, but You just
can't, and that's fine. You just can't.
I just can't. I'm just I just don't want to.
Don't worry about it.
I'm a little worried about it.
No, they called.
I bent over to pick up a pen the other day, and it made me out of breath.
It's the quarantine thing where you get like the 25. You get 25 pounds. Oh, can you imagine trying to work that off?
How hard it is to lose 5 pounds. I don't need 25.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Steam is like Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, but for computers. Mm-hmm. And that's where I do most of my gaming. And over the weekend, they broke yet another record with, where's the number? 23.4 million people playing all at the same time.
That is so many people to think of. A lot of times you hear numbers from companies, but they're just telling you like users. They're not. But for this is everybody playing at the same time. How can they not they have to have the infrastructure for that?
They call it concurrent players.
Mm-hmm.
So that was actually the record that was set a week and a half ago. This past weekend, they set a new record that's 24.5 million concurrent players.
Oh, so many people.
That's wild, man.
I felt going into this like Steam was down the last couple of years, or just not as talked about.
Well, you know what it has been is that if you play games on your computer, which I do, PC gaming has fractured a little bit because you have the Epic Games Store. So a lot of people buy computers just because they want to play Fortnite. They're like, hey, I want to play Fortnite with a mouse and keyboard. Mm-hmm. I have actually helped people build computers for that very reason. And that's an Epic Game Store thing. So like a lot of people...
They don't use Steam for that then?
No, you can only play it through Epic. And Steam, in some ways, you're like, oh, there's not as much there, but Steam is still there. And Microsoft has partnered up with them. You can buy Microsoft games on Steam now. EA has come back to Steam. You can still buy Ubisoft stuff there. So, I mean, it has been a silent majority there for a while.
They basically said that during our quarantine, like our time at home, man, we're playing games and we're watching stuff.
Yeah.
And we're eating. That's the trifecta.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. And some we're more happy about than other parts of it.
Okay, real talk. Do you feel like we've been at this long enough? I feel like over the last couple of days, I've seen a change in people where they've adjusted to this a little bit more. And so I'm starting to see more people that are like doing stuff instead of just eating Doritos and playing games.
No, I think we're still
doing that?
Comfortably settled in what is making us happy right away.
Right.
Because some of us have been more isolated than others for longer. So it really depends on when you got on board that train and how well you're handling it.
Yeah. You know what, Nikki's right.
And it comes in waves. Like, I have a way better time during the weekday because we come out to do the show. But on the weekends, man, I'm lost in the land of ice cream. I'm just lost. Lost.
I don't know what to do.
And I don't know until I come back on Monday, and then you have a sense of a schedule again.
Yeah. So you're saying you're experiencing the quarantine life Saturdays and Sundays.
It hits hard on the weekends.
So do you think it's hitting you harder on the weekend and then on Monday? So what I'm saying is it's fresh to you every weekend?
Pretty much. It hits every weekend.
Nikki, I'm trying to help you find a video game / ice cream excuse.
I tried. I downloaded the Roombo First Blood tried to get into that. I haven't gotten into Animal Crossing yet. I played in the past, but I just haven't felt ready for it yet. So I don't know. I got to find something. I've been trying to go through my Netflix shows and clean that up a bit, but even that.
I've been playing.
I don't start till like 10 o'clock at night to watch a show. I'm like, I got to go to bed. I got to go to bed.
You're right. Mm-hmm. You do, because I don't know if you've noticed this. We're still getting up.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
I don't understand.
Your friends are like, we're up till 4 o'clock binging whatever. And you're just like, I got up at 4 o'clock to do my job.
I don't know. But yeah, if you find a game, that would be helpful, I think.
Yeah, I started playing RE3 this weekend. That's nerve-wracking. But that was on Steam. I was one of those 24 million people.
You're one of the users there.
Sure does make me feel good to be a part of the crowd.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Now, Nikki, I would like us to talk. I've got this story about Major League Baseball I want us to look at.
Yeah.
But first, I'm getting concerned.
About what?
About you.
No need to.
Are you getting stress hiccups?
I did yesterday. And you want to know what the weirdest thing was?
What?
Well, I was doing a project, and then I started hiccuping really bad. It was really stressful. Yeah. And I was calling Eric over because I wanted to show him the results of the project.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, come over here. And he's like, no, you got to get rid of your hiccups first. He just couldn't come around. Like, they were really bad. So I finally got him under control. And then I went to go bring him back over and to talk about the project again. And I started hiccuping again. It is stress-induced. I wondered if that was like a real thing.
I just Googled it.
Is it a thing?
It is.
It was it was painful.
Anxiety disorders or stress can cause persistent hiccups. Yeah. That's according to the Harvard Review.
Well, I that was the first time I felt like I could pinpoint, like, I don't hiccup too often, but, and the windows were open because it was nice out, and I was embarrassed because I know someone walking by could be like, what's wrong with her?
Man, that woman's got the devil.
They were so loud and so painful. It wasn't a tiny hiccup. It was a big thing.
Like,
for quite some time. Yes. Almost like you're either going to throw up or hyperventilate.
Hey, man, a strong hiccup can be rough.
Yes, it can.
It can be rough.
Especially when it can't go away. So I was worried, and then I just had to leave the room where my project was, and eventually they stopped.
And then when you went back to your project, did you? No?
I have to return today to it, and I'm not going to go back until it's there. It's time.
You're going to go back to it, and all of a sudden,
yes, that's what they sound like, and they hurt. They're deep. That's the ones. It's painful. So I think I had that yesterday.
Well, Nikki, it might be time for you. You might have to move on.
No, I have to keep doing the project. It's not going away. It's not going to go away. Even if there's like a medical reason for it to go away, it's not going to. You're
going to start taking, do they have anti-hiccup medication?
I don't know.
Is that a thing? There's ways to get, one of the ways to get rid of hiccups, according to this, is a stretch method. Mm-hmm. You stand upright with your feet hip width apart, lock one thumb in the palm of your other hand with your fingertips outstretched, lift your chin, look up and stretch your arms over your head. Reach for the sky. Pull your abs in.
Reach for the sky. You got to say it like that.
As if trying to let your pants fall off your hips, and breathe deeply several times.
I'll have to remember that today.
Lord,
I also will sometimes get a right eye twitch when I know that things have started to get a little anxious for me.
Oh my
So if you
gosh.
ever see my eye twitching and a long, strong hiccup, you know that Nikki's about ready to break. It's too much. It's too much.
Are you all right? What? What twitch?
But I'm still so embarrassed easily to where I was like, close the window. I can't let the neighbors hear this hiccup.
I love that. I got
so worried about that.
I got stress hiccups about my stress hiccups.
I know. It wouldn't go away. We're all fine, right? Is everybody fine? We're all doing fine.
I don't know if I've been better than this before.
I know. It's just a lot. It's a lot for our bodies to handle, and our bodies are showing us they're mad.
You know, Nikki, if you don't face it now, you're going to have to face it later.
Well, I don't know what's next.
That's how it works.
The eye twitch, the stress hiccups. What is the next step? I am worried to find out.
I don't know.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the riot. Then, they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on RadioU.
You ready to yell at me?
Yeah, what are we yelling about?
On Friday, I spent a chunk of money.
You did?
Yep.
On what? What did you buy?
Why don't you guess? See if you can guess.
Computer stuff?
Yep.
Yeah, did you buy, it wouldn't be a new monitor, would it?
Nope.
New hard drive?
I bought an Oculus Rift on Friday, and I played...
Get out of the room right now.
I played VR all weekend.
Are you lying to me right now?
No, I'm not.
What are you doing?
I'll tell you. Let me tell you what happened.
I don't want to hear you.
You don't want to hear the story?
This is enabling if I hear you, and I'm happy for you.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Well, I was like, you know what? Nikki's going to get a stupid Switch. I'll get something.
I didn't.
I know. I need you to buy one so I feel better.
Is that why you're pushing me so hard?
Maybe.
All right. Now, I want to track back. You've already had like 3 Oculus Rifts.
This is my 4th one. Okay.
You never played it when you had it.
I know. This weekend, I played it more than I probably did have all the other times that I've owned one.
You said that every time you got one for that weekend. Then you stopped playing it.
Well, we see where it goes from here, right?
We know where it goes from here. We don't need to see it.
Here's the beauty. They're so hard to get a hold of right now. I don't know if they've quit making them.
I think it's that.
I don't know what it is, but I checked on eBay or whatever, I could sell it for almost twice what I paid for it.
This is what we go through each time.
And what happens each time?
I
sell it for more than I paid for it.
We should go through the hassle of it. This is what's the quote? It's a vicious cycle.
It is. It is. I can't stop. I'm unhappy. And I'm unhappy because I eat.
You're doing this again.
It's happening, right? I played VR and I had a blast. And I actually thought, I was like, don't tell Nikki. She's just going to be mad at you.
No, I'm glad you were honest.
I'm just telling you.
But I am still disappointed.
I was at Micro Center doing unrelated business.
Sure.
And they had one
and
left. I have checked every time I've gone there, not because I was going to get one, but because I've been curious. Well, that new Half-Life Alyx game came out, and I really, really have wanted to check it out. And so I thought, you know what? Let's just see if they have one. And they had one, and I was like, just give it to me. You know what? Just give it to me.
You're already spending your stimulus then.
No, this was something else. I've been selling organs and plasma and stuff, so I sold my plasma money back.
You're back into VR?
Totally.
Oh, my
gosh. You know what?
I
had so much fun. I had so much fun.
All right. I feel like we're in a meeting, where you have to...
Oh, you mean like a
support group meeting or something, and I don't know if I'm being supportive or what am I supposed to do?
As the old quote says, as a dog returns to its vomit.
That's what you're doing.
So Obadiah returns to virtual reality yet again.
I'm glad that you were happy. Let's say this again. I feel like I've said this in the past. We're glad that you're happy that you got it. We're glad that you enjoyed the time with virtual reality over the weekend. Mm-hmm. And we hope that you continue to enjoy your virtual reality.
And we want to let you know that after the show, there's a Mike Mains thing. And after that, you're going to need to come upstairs.
We just need to have a quick meeting with you. Oh, just a quick meeting.
Just come upstairs. No, don't be afraid. It's
fine.
We have somebody that wants to talk to you.
I need to get you like a program or a book or a...
Oh, is it a new game?
No, that's not it. A series or something about letting things go and not returning back to them.
I know. It's bad.
All right. Well, it is cyclical as well. If you look back in your history, I'm sure we've done this at this time of the year.
It might be a spring thing because I was just like, man, I really want to do this. Here's what I think No, I'm not going to tell you guys, but it's fine.
Wow, you told us everything else.
No, I haven't. You don't even know.
I don't even know.
You don't even know.
Good for you.
Yep, it's good. So,
I'm in shock. You did it again.
People win awards for being the best at things. Are there awards for the worst? Because we have a contender. Worst of the Riot Podcast.
Cake fixes everything. Almost everything. It doesn't fix everything.
It might not fix it all, but it'll make it better if you have to go through it.
Most assuredly. Lino Lakes, Minnesota. Amy was, she saw a car in her neighborhood.
Yeah.
A suspicious car.
Okay.
And let's face it, you're at home. What are you doing?
And we're all at home, so.
You're bored. You're outside. Maybe you're looking out the window and you're like, I don't recognize that car.
It seems suspicious.
And it keeps stopping. Like, the car will go like however far and then stop. And it stays stopped for a while. Mm-hmm. And then it just goes a little bit farther and then stopping again.
So what'd she do?
Pulled in a couple of driveways at one point. She called the police.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Police came out. What are you doing? And here's what the police found out. It was a woman and her daughter playing Pokemon Go from inside the car.
Oh, people are still playing.
She needed something to do.
She did. Why not?
So her daughter needed something to do.
You get out, but you're still a distance away from everybody else.
Right. And they never got out of their car. Mm-hmm. And apparently you don't have to play Pokemon Go. I haven't touched it in so long. I don't know. But, the police kind of harassed them.
Yeah.
And then they go on the, what's it called? Like the neighborhood Facebook page or whatever and say, hey, everybody, just a heads up, police pulled us over. And we want you to know that my daughter and I are out playing Pokemon.
Aww. So they're not doing any harm.
Right. And so the lady that called the police on them sent them a sorry we called the cops on you cake.
Nice. What a great idea. Did she bake it or did she have it delivered?
Looks like it was delivered and it's got a Pikachu on top of it.
Great idea.
Sorry we called the cops on you.
Isn't that nice? It was fine for her to call the cops because it's better to check. Sure. And then everybody was hopefully respectful and it was good for her to call the cake in.
Now, in case you're wondering, Nikki, I saw this news story and I swear to you, like 3 minutes later, I saw on Facebook a friend of mine who said they were out last night doing Pokemon Go.
I thought you meant like with cake.
In a neighborhood with their car.
Really?
Yep.
I guess that's now, we'll do anything,
so
right?
just a heads up.
In case you see a lot of people.
It's a thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
People are doing it. And a heads up, if you call the cops on someone and you find out it was unnecessary, you absolutely should buy them a cake. Yep, you need to buy them a cake.
That's a great idea.
Another thing to think about is, like, if you, like, let's say you have a morning show you enjoy, and you're listening to them, you should probably get them a cake.
That also works, too. You can just have it delivered.
Sorry, I listened to you on the radio cake. Something like that.
Someplace will make it.
Buttercream icing.
That's all. Chocolate with buttercream icing.
That's our preference.
It's our.
And that's what, the kind of cake you want to send to people is that's what you would send.
You want to send a cake and you want to send the right cake because that sends an even better message.
The right cake at the right time. We're sorry we called the cops on you.
You're basically listening to a real-time cringe compilation. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Here's what I imagine could one day happen. I'm dead. I'm in heaven. God and I are talking, and he just looks at me and says, now, son, no judgment. I'm not mad at you, but I want to show you how many hours of your time on earth that you just spent looking at movies that were on sale.
Do you think he'll bring that up?
And I just want to show it.
He's a kind man, though. He's not going to do that.
I just want to show it to you, just so you know.
I think that's on your way up. Like, it'll flash.
It'll just be a flash.
But I don't think when you're up there, then you'll be like, do you remember all the times you used to?
Do you remember that?
Yeah, but it makes you happy.
It's weird.
You like to.
I do. You know what? Isn't that funny, the ideas that we have about God? We think that God is in heaven, and there's like a ticker or a board that's running, and we're like, all right, we got all the mistakes over here, and we got those captured, and man, forget about 4K. It's like 400K. Like 8 million frames a second.
There's no questioning it's you.
Yeah, we got you.
We see it all.
Right? And we're keeping score and all of that kind of stuff. So you're busted. A lot of times we think about that. Do you know that God's not actually doing that? You will find that what God really wants to do, what he has done is like he's almost had he just wants to love you. Jesus wants to have a relationship with you. Jesus actually, you know what? He paid the price and did what he had to do to make sure that there was nothing that could keep you from God's love, except for you, really. I mean, it's your choice. Like, you can enter a loving relationship with God or not. That's up to you. But man, I'll tell you what, you say yes to God, and there's not another moment of your life where you're going to be without him. He forgives. He loves you. He wants to be a part of what you've got going on. He will even sit with you while you look at these stupid movie prices. Who's going to buy Everest for $17?
But
for $17!
But at least you see it's there.
Right. But I'm just telling you that God loves you. And he will show us a better way to live. And God's been good to me. And sometimes he might suggest that maybe $17 for Everest. You could do something better with your time,
You already know that
son.
in your spirit.
In my heart. I know it. I know it, God. I know. But look, let God be your friend, please. Like, God has made such a huge difference in my life. Jesus has changed my life for the better. And I'm not saying that life is always rosy, but you'll never face it alone. He'll always be with you, and you'll always have the help you need to do what you got to do. God doesn't want to beat up on you. He wants to befriend you. Just say, Jesus, I want that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I want you to show me how to do things. And I want to know you for who you really are. It's a great place to start, man, for reals.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So we've talked here on the show about streaming this, streaming that, streaming. But a lot of you have been hearing stealing this, stealing that, stealing.
I know it sounds similar with the S's, but one is right and one is wrong.
You know, is it stealing? You're borrowing, really, because you're going to put it back.
Well, yeah.
I mean, yes, fine. So we're talking about piracy, Nikki. Fly the flag. Run up the colors.
Run up all the copies that you got. A lot of people are at home. You're wanting to watch a lot of things. Sometimes the longer you're at home, you forget about the rules of the land.
You know what? What are you going to do? Come over here and arrest me? You got a distance. You can't come in here.
I'm sure eventually they'll still come and get you.
I got corona.
They'll find you.
But
they are saying that piracy is extra big right now.
According to Musso, they are some sort of a digital something research firm. They say that film piracy during the lockdown has been about 40% higher than usual.
I wonder what they count. Like, I want to see the list of what's being pirated the most during the stay at home.
Actually, you know what? I subscribe to a thing that gives that list. What's the name of that?
Pirate a Day?
No, I won't tell you, but they always have their every...
Oh, they always have the top of the list.
Here we go, Nikki. The top 10 most pirated movies of the week, according to BitTorrent.
And don't tell me it's Trolls.
Oh, yeah. That's number 8.
Okay, it's on the list.
That's number 8. The Gentleman is number 7.
All right.
Gretel and Hansel is 6. Arkansas is 5. I don't know what that is.
Don't even want to know.
Bad Boys for Life is at 4. Bloodshot is at 3.
Is that the Vin Diesel thing?
Yes. Fantasy Island is at 2. And then this is one that as a Netflix subscriber you won't quite understand, but Extraction is the number 1 most pirated movie in the world over the weekend.
And that's the Chris Hemsworth one?
Yes.
But why? Who doesn't have Netflix?
Lots of people don't.
Lots of people still don't.
See, Nikki, they would say, why are you paying for Netflix? You can just get the movies for free.
I guess people are pirating Netflix stuff.
Right.
I guess that does work.
But as a subscriber, you can't understand why on this earth they would do that.
Sure, and some that might be worldwide numbers too, and there are different places that people don't sign up for it.
I haven't done a deep dive on how they calculate their numbers, but...
It's just piracy. There's a lot of stuff that's being offered for free during the stay-at-homes, but I guess it seems like this is mostly some of the movie releases that came out.
Like, there's a couple of movies in that mix I wouldn't mind watching, but...
I know a lot of the pirating lists are things you would never tell people you would see. They're not like the best.
You wouldn't rent it, but you pirate it just to get a look at it.
Just to see because you're curious, but it doesn't mean it's anything good.
That's fair.
That's how it is.
That's fair.
It's either the top main movies or the things that you would never tell someone else that you wanted to watch.
Like Trolls, for example.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to see that.
But out of the list, it's number 8. People want to see it.
That's the one that I thought would have been higher on the list.
Trolls?
Like, if people are stealing movies, they're like, you know what? I rented this twice. I'm just taking it.
Depends. I mean, that's still what I feel like is a family movie, and they're the ones buying it for $20 for the rental.
Yeah.
I don't know how up they are on stealing it or borrowing it.
Or it's a digital borrow.
Are we going to use the borrow word?
Yeah, it's like a library.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on RadioU.
When we say despite everything that's going on with the virus, I want to see a show of hands of people that thought about Cyrus the virus.
Who is that?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. If you don't know, you don't know.
Just forget about it.
You can raise your hand. You can raise your hand.
I even said it.
By texting, if anybody else knows what that even is.
Nikki, I have great news for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were just talking minutes ago how the furry convention's canceled, and so are swimming pools and roller coasters and movie theaters, and how summer is just going to be what it is now, except hot.
Except hot. There'll be no difference. But let's not tell people that, because you don't want to spoil that surprise.
But I got a big change up for you here.
What's changing?
June 9th of this year. There's a release that no virus, Cyrus or otherwise, can cancel.
What is it?
It's the Keanu Reeves Crush and Color.
What is that?
It's an adult coloring book.
With Keanu Reeves?
Featuring
Keanu
Reeves.
Release it now. That can't take much to make. Release it now.
And I quote,
oh, I love it.
Colorful fantasies with a mysterious hero.
It is weird looking. Just looking at the picture. It is a coloring book. You're right.
It's an adult coloring book about the dates you're going to go on with
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Nice.
There it is.
Well, I might just have to buy that for the show. Oh my gosh, if we can do an after show where we're coloring.
Yep.
I think for the show, it would be perfect.
I think we should. But I just got to tell you, I'm going to have to find.
Keanu Reeves is a Fangirl Dreams coloring book featuring the star of John Wick.
Oh, here we go. I'll get The Fairies, adult coloring book with beautiful fantasy women. That'll be super appropriate.
That'd be great. It'll be fine.
Coloring our weird fantasy coloring books.
Well, there's other stuff. We can find another one.
How about this one? Coffee Animals coloring book.
Perfect. This seems better.
I think that might be better. It's certainly at least a Bob Ross by the numbers.
Perfect.
Now we're getting somewhere.
All right. So that's, when did you say it was coming out? June?
June.
June 9th. 80 pages.
Some of these are
not right. Which one are you looking at?
Real weird coloring books, guys.
You got to fill the pages with something.
Do we?
I guess you do.
All right. More.
Hey, focus on the Keanu one. You don't need to worry about the others.
No more coloring books, everybody. Put them back.
If you're a fan of him,
put them back. What are we doing?
Then you have that. That's coming out in June.
All right. So I'm done.
Thanks for sharing it with me.
You're welcome. It's only like $9.99. It's perfect.
Oh, yeah. I actually probably would buy it just for the fun of it.
You're buying it.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Just want to make sure you're telling the truth.
I am. I have no problem.
Okay,
I'm not embarrassed.
I'm not embarrassed that I want to spend some quiet time coloring Keanu.
What else do we have? What else is there?
Well, apparently nothing.
So that's why I'll get it.
Okay.
Right. I'm sure there's others who will too.
If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So, Nikki, have you bought that second Switch yet?
I've not. I got my my stimulus deposit yesterday.
Call it Trump bucks, please.
I got my money
Trump
yesterday,
bucks.
And I think I'm still going to save it as of right now. I haven't decided.
Well, I mean, you can save a bunch and still get yourself a new...
You sound like car insurance right there. You could save a bunch of money.
You could save a bunch on your Switch Lite.
If I just bundle my Switches together.
I'm telling you.
My home and my motorcycle and my boat bundle.
Don't even get me started on how I could bundle your cable, phone, and internet.
With my Switch?
All together. And that'll bring that Switch all the power it needs.
I'm excited.
It is great.
I just haven't had time. And I really am deciding if I want to jump into Animal Crossing, because it makes a difference. If you go into Animal Crossing, you got to start on the Switch that you want to use for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just not ready yet.
It's time.
It's not time. There's no difference between today and yesterday. Nothing has changed. We're still waiting.
So many things have changed.
We're supposed to wait several, they say you're supposed to wait 24 hours until you buy something.
Hours.
For me, I'm fine. I'll wait weeks. I don't care. I'll still wait.
You care. This from the girl who was like, I am not buying a Nintendo Switch. I'm going to be an adult. And then right after the show, we hopped in the car.
That was the first one. Now that's why I don't need a second one.
Okay.
That's why I don't need another one.
Well,
and I recognize that. Though Eric can use, he uses the other Switch. I just wanted one that, maybe the controllers, I prefer them probably to not be detachable.
Okay. Well, the Switch, it's official, has now sold more than if you took all of the Nintendo 64s that they ever sold and all of the GameCubes that they ever sold and combined them, the Switch has sold more than that.
But not the Wii?
No, the Wii.
The Wii still outsells everything with it?
No, but as of right now, the Switch has sold 55.77 million Switches.
If you're not into gaming, or maybe you're newer into gaming, during the quarantine time for the stay at home, the Switch went through and is still going through this resurgence where the bigger Switch one, it's hard to find still because everyone grabbed it.
It's impossible to find.
Well, you can find it. You're just paying way more than you should.
At retail.
But the Switch, especially with the release of Animal Crossing and then everybody being at home, it's impossible to get a hold of at its actual price.
Yeah, I keep seeing, it's all over Twitter, celebrities playing Animal Crossing. Nikki, that could be you.
It could be me doing it. I'm an
celebrity
influencer.
Playing Animal Crossing.
For the lights, they're not impossible to find, but some of them, they're a little bit more expensive than they should be.
Yeah. Well, it's out there, Nikki. You could add to this number. You could help the Switch break Wii records.
Break more records for Nintendo.
You're going to need to get out there and start buying.
Just doesn't feel right yet.
Are you going to help the economy?
I already did. Everything I've ordered from Amazon and all the food. Nope, we should have. I have done my part.
Okay.
And then some.
I'm not buying it, and apparently neither are you.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously, this is The Riot on RadioU.
So you see something in the news or maybe you read a book and go, man, that's just insane. I just can't believe that. I can't. Yeah, it might be made up.
Actually, it's probably made up.
I'm blown away by this. I mean, I shouldn't be, but just for somebody to come clean about it is amazing. His name is Stéphane Bourgeois. He is French. He's 67 years old. He has authored around 40 books on crime. And his tale is that he has studied and interviewed all of these. How many does he say that he says he's interviewed over 70 serial killers and that his wife was killed by one.
Oh, wow.
It's all made up.
The whole thing?
Yep.
His whole storyline
his whole
of it?
shtick. Yep.
His whole life thing?
He hasn't interviewed any of these people, and he's never been married. His wife, no murdered wife. The story that he tells about his wife, he based on a woman he met in a bar.
Oh, my gosh.
For real.
Wow. So his whole, this is why he probably got to be an author, because of his story.
Yep. So he said that he had FBI training, that he interviewed Charles Manson, and that he played professional soccer at a certain age.
Does it say how he got caught or why someone was looking into it?
Think about Reddit or 4chan or whatever. Somebody somewhere, a forum there, they started checking him out and they're like, this guy's a liar. He hasn't done these things. Yeah. And so it's crazy. So he says that I don't know. You could read his whole story if you want to, but basically the whole thing is a lie.
That's really hard. It makes it hard to believe everybody else who might really, truly have a story.
Yes, it does. I feel like it's one of those things that you almost have to take everything you see on TV and the internet with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
There have been so many times that you'll read something and think, oh, I wish my life was like that, or like, what an incredible story, or whatever. Man, people will just lie, and they don't have to back it up at all.
But then it's hard because then everybody's like, why are you always doubting people? Like, why can't you just trust people? But then you find out it's not true.
I don't know.
Oh, even he didn't have a wife. He didn't have any of that story? Gosh.
No, that is all made up.
Well, he is an author, so... That's happened quite a lot to some pretty famous authors. So this is not the first time.
He's used to making stuff up.
Yeah, they're pretty good at it.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I'm not going to say who, but there is a famous actress that had a couple of things that happened, and I was like, yeah, like, do you think that's real or do you think that's staged? And someone who used to work here got so mad at me for insinuating that
it would be staged.
That it would be staged. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about it for just a minute. Here's someone whose entire job is to pretend to put their body in certain positions. And I'm talking like, I mean, think about it. Their face, their hands, or whatever, to convince you of something. Why wouldn't they take that skill and put it in the meta game? Right? Right? Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Is it?
Is. Sure is.
I don't think it is.
Not so much.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. Clearly, the Riot didn't properly plan. This is the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
Happy birthday to you. Vroom.
Whose birthday is it?
Happy birthday to you. Vroom. That's the sound of my car's engine. I was a part of a birthday parade over the weekend.
Oh, you were? Your first one?
Yeah, first one, Nikki.
Congratulations.
First time for everything, right?
Yep.
Yep. So met some people in a parking lot. Of course, didn't get too close to them. Yeah, I actually thought at one point, I was like, should I get my car this close to him?
Like, I'm in the car. Fine. I think your car is fine.
I know, but I'm just...
You were nervous.
I've been inside the walls behind the COVID curtain for so long. That's how you start to think.
You weren't even sure.
Should I park this close? So, yeah, we all lined up. I had some window, whatever you have, window marker.
Oh, sure. You marked on the windows with the
happy birthday, blah, 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 did all that. And then we all lined up and drove past. And, you know, that parade.
Now, may I ask you something? Because we have a lot in our neighborhood.
Nope.
I want to ask you something.
No.
Did you honk when you were at the person's house, or did you, like the people in my area, seem to honk
the entire time?
The entire time, like we didn't know you were coming and going.
No, I honked when I was one car away.
That's perfect.
Then when I was there and probably passed. So I would say 3 car lengths of honking, just a couple of honks. Honk, honk, honk.
I think that's good because not where I am. They do a couple a week, and then they had a graduation thing and all this stuff, and it's honking all the time. All the time.
Where it's a honking good time.
It is.
Honk it, honk.
And then, you know, like the cops come through with it, or because sometimes fire trucks, and you don't know, like, is there an actual emergency, or is it it's confusing.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. So
and
no,
loud.
I didn't have, some of the people in this parade that we were having really did it up. They had signs and balloons and all that stuff, and I was like, oh, I was just going to yell.
That's all. You fit in. If you just put your car in between the other ones, they won't even notice.
There was just one more in the line, but like it was fine. I thought when I got done, I was just like, well, is that it?
Hey, you got out of the house.
Is that it?
You
like
got
we just did it. That was the birthday party.
I mean, you know what? All right. Well, okay. Put that here. Would you have rather had to go to someone's place to do a party for hours and hours? And sometimes for like these, they throw presents out the car.
Yeah.
But if not, if you didn't have to, like, is this easier? Is this actually better?
And come to think of it, you know, this means that we've had a birthday party where I haven't had any cake. So I've got a get your cake free card. So I should go get myself some cake so I could celebrate.
You could have your own cake. I guess that is a negative then. No food and no cake.
There was no cake, but you know what? Maybe the time saved made it worthwhile.
Because you didn't have to stay for the whole party.
Then again, I could really go for some cake.
True.
It's a tough call. It's a trade-off.
But you had fun? Oh. Okay, is that the wrong word to use? I don't know what else to use.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Think about it.
I take it you did not have fun.
Okay.
Being a part of your first car birthday parade.
It was just pretty new neutral. Like, I wasn't mad.
Never mind.
I wasn't whatever, but did I walk away like, man, that was fun?
That's what some other people probably did.
Can we do it again?
Oh, gosh. All right.
Is that too honest? Should I have pretended? Yeah, it was great. You know, I
thought we were trying to be a little bit more positive, and that doesn't seem like it.
Well, that was last week. So, I mean, you asked. You asked.
That's my fault. That's my bad.
What do you want?
I thought you were going to say, yeah, it's great to do something different.
I will say I did want to. I thought about what a bummer it must be. She's at home. It's her birthday. She can have a party, whatever. I was like, that stinks. So I really wanted to
cheer up.
Yeah, I wanted to do something nice for them. And yes, I enjoyed it.
Now the person knows how you feel.
They don't listen. Nobody does.
It doesn't matter.
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on RadioU.
You know what's a funny word? Nozzle. Nozzle's a funny word. Nikki, I'm going to get you a dual nozzle.
Great.
I'm telling you right now.
so much.
I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm looking at Woot right now. And today on Woot, you know what they've got?
Why are you looking at Woot?
Because there's a bio bidet, slim edge, simple bidet attachment.
I think we're past that, don't you?
Yeah, are we?
I think so.
It's time for you to go bidet, baby.
No, I did see a TikTok a few weeks ago about a guy living under. A girl was in the above apartment.
Yeah.
He was below, and she had installed a bidet and was flooding his apartment because it was installed wrong. And it was just like great. So I'm a little worried.
First off, awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Second, are you installing that yourself or what's going on?
Remember the toilet paper shortage?
I know.
Remember when you couldn't get it? I'll bet you're back to just ripping that stuff off the roll like it's no big deal.
We forgot.
We have already forgotten what it was like to have no toilet paper. And so we're like, oh, we don't care. But, here, Nikki, a bidet. You can install it yourself, which we all know means Eric installs it.
Well, that's why they're on Woot, because I bet there was an overpurchase back, a few months ago when that all started.
Exactly.
And now they have the rest of them and they can't sell them.
It's only $25. It's
only a plumbing problem. It's only a disaster.
Well, no, look, you just, I believe you connect it right there to the water line like you at the toilet base.
No, I
install it in there. And
I
then
have some toilet paper hidden in
when
case. We have it. It's not like we bought too much, but we bought enough to where it's fine.
I am in a place where I normally buy pretty cheap toilet paper. And so during the crisis, I was forced to buy whatever was available, which was this
I didn't know they were cheaper.
I ended up with this gold-plated 14-ply toilet paper, and I'm just like, what?
What is this stuff?
I mean, I have comic books, things that are printed. The paper is not as high quality as this toilet paper is right now.
Well, during that time, we all had to go to whatever was available, and it might not have been your brand.
Mm-hmm.
But with this, I don't think you need to buy it. Don't look at Woot. Nikki, you're not buying anything.
Tom says every house should have a bidet. They make styles that are just like installing a toilet seat. That's kind of like what this is. Mm-hmm. So you can... I just need to be guaranteed, is it warm?
Do you need a house project for this weekend? Is this what you're doing?
No. I already ripped something apart that's not fixed.
That's what that is.
Yeah, you're probably right, because this is one of those things where you're like, oh, that's not that hard, which is, I say that, never say that. Like the extent to which you're tempting fate is just terrible.
Well, if you're like, every place should, and I need one, Woot has it.
Yeah, they do.
But for everybody else, we don't need it.
Woot woot.
We're just not set up that. I know in other countries that's just how it is. That's normal, but we're not.
What about a portable air conditioner?
Well, now that's more practical. You could use that.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Let's see. What else we got here? Looks like we got a digital thermometer. That's $229.
Oh, a little bit more than we thought.
What's this thing? An acrobatic flip stunt car? Man, Woot has all the crap.
Yes, it does.
All the stuff.
Again, why are you looking at it?
Man, all the stuff that you don't remotely need. They have it right here.
There's no reason why you need anything you just mentioned.
Man, that's great. No, we're getting it.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
It's weird how Nikki and I have changed places over the years. Like, I feel like I used to sit where she is sitting and she used to sit where I am sitting. And now I find myself having to talk to her about tone.
Tone and how bad it is?
Like, tone is important, Nikki.
No, these are so expensive that tone just goes out the door.
Tone is important. And the other thing is that sometimes, we're not supposed to say anything when you get the window treatments that you want.
Whatever I get.
Right. That's supposed to be fine and reasonable and makes perfect sense, and it's an investment.
Uh-huh.
But, when Eric needs something, then it's, why do we need this? And it's too much.
So Eric's building a home theater. We haven't had one in a while, so he's gotten back into that. And
big time, guys.
The Google Doc that I have seen that hasn't mapped out is astonishing about what he expects to do in this room. And I've had to just explain that sometimes he's 20. I'm like 5. If we could just meet in the middle somewhere between how much we want to put into this room. But that's what he likes to do.
I feel like it's so far past anything that I've ever even considered.
And it's Reddit's fault, and that's all I'm saying.
It's
all those forums.
It's amazing. Like, Eric's ideas, the stuff he has shown me, because he's like building his own speakers.
Yeah.
The way I would build a computer from parts, that's what Eric is doing with a speaker. And I mean, it's cool. I mean, I don't want to do that.
So we started jumping into it yesterday. He got subwoofers.
Yeah, he said it only goes on sale like every so often.
I don't know if I believe that.
Now, Nikki, okay.
But he got 2 of them. And I was like, well, why do you need 2? Why can't we just start off with 1?
As he's explained it to me, there's a possibility of fall off.
Well, yeah.
At different places in the room.
So I don't know. I just had a real hard time with 2. I thought we could just make do with 1.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case. So.
Is that the life you want to live, Nikki, and make do? Or do you want your best life now?
He was also telling me, like, the center speaker, under the projector, because we have a screen on the wall.
Yeah.
The center speaker is 4 feet tall. It's so much. It's so much. There's not enough space between the 4 feet tall speaker and the screen because the screen is so big.
Well, as he's explained it to me, it's going to be a wall of speakers, and
he's making a faux wall with the speakers behind it.
Right. Yeah. So it's that sound transparent material.
Yeah. So it should be fine, but there's just a lot to it.
Yeah.
And so yesterday was that day.
And you know what? How excited was he? And how was your tone?
It was fine, actually, during the day.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Just afterwards, just like, why do we have to have 2?
The tone in this room, I feel like, has been not as supportive as it could be.
Well, I didn't know this list was I didn't see this list of what all this theater will encompass.
Yeah.
I didn't see that until I think it was Saturday or Sunday night. And I didn't know that's all what we were planning. I didn't know this. So that's why the tone changed a bit. But we're good. We're supportive and we're fine.
It's serious. I'll just tell you this right now. It's exciting because, your neighbor with the weird chickens and stuff.
He'll be able to experience this.
No, he's going to move.
Oh, he will.
You don't have to worry about that.
It's not going to be that loud because I don't want to. I don't want to offend anybody.
It's not going to be that loud.
No, it'll be fine. It's an inside noise. It really targets inside.
Okay.
Now I know why he wanted he's got this
18-inch subwoofers.
He got this special acoustic stuff that goes in between the drywall and the stuff in the basement.
Yeah.
So it's got all this filler thing to help with noise, and that's why we have that.
He wants you to be able to still relax while he can enjoy
his sound, his wall of sound,
his pursuits.
So yeah, that was yesterday.
This is just a reminder to watch your tone.
Watch my tone. Great.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on RadioU.
What's wrong with you people? And maybe it's not you. Maybe it's them.
It's someone else.
But dang, people are beating up on Skyrim Grandma.
So this was like from a month or so ago, I think, but they're finally just seeing it.
Okay, I did not hear about this.
Yeah, no one really did. But now they're noticing, look what you did to this older grandma, which I forgot about her.
Jerks. We found out about her a year, maybe 2 years ago. Her name is Shirley Curry. She's 82 years old, and she's a popular streamer. People call her Skyrim Grandma because she's an older lady.
And she plays Skyrim.
She plays Skyrim, and she likes it. And
she films it all.
She does. And she just, she didn't just. We just found out about it, but she's taking a break.
Yeah, that is what's going around now, because it's not like for a good reason. It's because basically she just said she can't handle the trolls that are online anymore.
Yeah, she says, and you know what? This is a great quote. I'm not enjoying recording anymore at all. It's no longer fun. I feel like I'm under a microscope all the time. I have much more fun and I play much better when I'm just playing by myself.
I don't know enough about her, though, but she says specifically that she plays a little bit differently, and people critique and criticize her way of playing Skyrim. And that seems to be the heart of it, that she just wants to play how she plays.
I love it.
And no one needs to tell her any other way.
These quotes are just great. I don't need people telling me what sword to use or shield to use. I have my favorites.
Yeah, she just wants to play it how she wants to play it.
I love that.
So she's gone through and, deleting comments and stuff.
Yeah.
She said that if you're going to leave something negative, she's going to delete it. But you have to realize, in order to delete it, she has to see it and read it. And that's what's just getting too much for her.
I'll tell you what, for real, like some of the stuff, some of the things that I've encountered on the internet that people have said to other people have blown my mind. I had some friends that had a thing and they were like, we need help from somebody. So I helped them. I went in and I basically became their filter and I deleted all their whatever. And it is shocking what people will say to other people online. It's just shocking. You're just like, how could you even type that? Where did that come from?
I think you can ban certain words, though. Like I would
you
have gone in
can.
and banned a couple of words, and then if worse comes to worse and you still enjoy playing, turn off your comments.
Also,
she's older. She's not doing this, I don't feel like, for the fame and glory.
Doing it for fun.
Yeah, so if you just want to do it for fun, turn off your comments.
She's probably making money on it at this point, though. Like, she has a pretty high subscriber count. Like, there's probably some income involved, but you don't get the feeling she's doing it because she needs the money.
No, she just enjoyed Skyrim.
Yeah, so way to go, Internet. Way to go. You chased grandma
Way to ruin it, and now she's upset. And she says she has stress problems.
High blood pressure.
Yeah, and all that from the trolls.
What are we doing? We can't just let the little grandma off on her own play some Skyrim. You have to tell her how to play. Just let people play.
But she says she knows how to play. This is just how she likes to play.
What? What? You mean you're not min-maxing?
She's just doing it how she likes to.
Sometimes it's just for fun, guys.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
Boy, I'm on the wrong side of history on this whole squirrel thing.